Hello and welcome. My name is Harinama Chintamani. This series is connected to our website, purelyprabhupada.com, and this is the fourth video in our series, Ancient Truths for the Upliftment of the Modern World. I do encourage you to at least watch our introductory video. I'd like to give you a little background in why the information that we are sharing is so vital for this time and why every attempt was made to suppress it. And for those of you out there who are uncovering the extremely dark and uncomfortable truths of what has been going on behind the scenes in every level of our society, will very much appreciate what I have to offer to you today. It is a very serious subject matter in that the truth in all levels of our world has been distorted and suppressed for various motivations. The main one being to take God out of the picture completely. Back in 1965, when Srila Prabhupada first came to America, and he came on a cargo ship, it was a very arduous 6-week journey. And he came with a trunk of books, the Srimad Bhagavatam. There are now almost 80 books, which he translated in the 10 years he was here from Sanskrit to English. I was there for part of those early days when Srila Prabhupada was here. What some of you don't know is what we came up against in every country trying to push forward the Krishna consciousness movement. It was a movement that united people of all classes and all races and all religions under the ancient Vedic knowledge and practical application in daily life. How to live a life based on God, based on our loving connection to God, fostering that loving connection. It was visceral, powerful, satisfying, joyful. It filled us from morning till night with creativity, inspiration, enthusiasm. I remember there was one priest who actually asked the question, these are our boys and girls who never had an interest in going to a church or a temple. What happened? Now they're mad after God. What happened? The KGB made a comment back in the 70s. They said, the biggest threat to communism is capitalism, rock and roll, and Hare Krishna. I promise you, the KGB do not say things flippantly. There were many devotees who were taken, put in psychiatric hospitals, sent to Siberia. Most of you have no idea what we came up against in those early days. It's very much like what's going on today, where those who are representing God sincerely, priests and even lay people who are found praying outside of abortion clinics are being taken off the streets and put into jail. We are at war now. This is a war between the theistic and the atheistic, the divine and the demoniac. And each of us is going to have to choose which side are we on. We choose by our behaviors, we choose by what we listen to, we choose by what we eat, we choose by what we say and think and associate with. I did not lead a charmed life with no challenges. If a year ago you had told me that I would be standing in front of a camera making a video, I would have thanked you for your vision and just walked away in complete disbelief. Because I have been at death's door many times in the last few years. I have seen 50 gates of hell, and I know personally the underbelly of the beast. And that is why when I speak to you, I speak to your heart, I speak to your soul, and my words have potency because of what I know and because of what I've lived through, because of what I have seen. So yes, on this planet now are races of demoniac beings. It is true. Underneath, in underground facilities, horrific, terrible things have been going on, unbeknownst to us, as we've been following our day-to-day lives, cooking for our families, going to movie theaters, doing whatever we do for fun and enjoyment. These things have been going on. And slowly, without our really paying enough attention, the influences have become darker and darker in clothing, in makeup, in the entertainment, in the movies, in the videos, in the games that children play. And now, of course, we're finding out what's being taught in schools, and that there's literally pornography in the libraries available to our precious children. All of this needs to end. So when Srila Prabhupada came with the first canto of what would become, eventually, there are 12 cantos of the Bhagavatam, and he was translating them to give us the real history of what has happened on this planet, of who we are, of our great heritage, and of what existed on this planet for millions of years, and what we can do to bring back this ancient culture, which is our true heritage, every one of us. We are meant to live in a society based on God, not torn apart by divisions of race and color and gender and so many things. We're meant to be united. The most important element of this unification is the realization that each and every one of us is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. And the name Krishna is an extraordinary name of God. It sums up all of the most wonderful attributes that we appreciate and glorify in this world. Krishna means the supreme, most beautiful, attractive personality. And he is also called Bhagavan, he who is full in all the opulences. We know what the opulences are of this world because we all desire them. We desire beauty, we desire fame, we desire knowledge and power and influence and wisdom, and even renunciation is an opulence. When we see somebody who is austere and simple, and their words are potent, we're attracted. So the name Bhagavan is also another name in Sanskrit for the Supreme Lord, he who is full in all opulences. There are people in this world who pride themselves in being very beautiful, very powerful, very rich. But then there's always somebody more powerful, more beautiful, and more rich. Because in this world, all of this is relative. But the Supreme Lord holds this position to the very highest apex, to the very highest degree. Srila Prabhupada taught us to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This sacred prayer is so potent. It literally has the power when delivered through the disciplic succession, going back millions of years to the Lord himself, which is like an electrical current. We know what it means to have our power properly connected to the powerhouse, right? We know what happens when it's not connected. All the lights are off. So when this prayer, this mantra, is delivered with potency through a pure representative in a direct lineage going back millions of years to the Lord himself, that prayer, those words, that frequency, that power has the ability to awaken our dormant love for God. Each and every one of us has this within our hearts. We have this love. It is natural for all of us. And if we're exhibiting demoniac symptoms, characteristics, it's not our nature. Just like water, it's wet, it's liquid. When it is frozen, it is an unnatural state for water. Water is meant to flow. When we're in a place of divisiveness and hatred and anger, that isn't natural for us. Every single one of us has a beautiful soul and beautiful qualities, because just like a drop of water, it has all the qualities of the ocean, right? It's salty, it's wet. But a drop of water can't hold a battleship. So the ocean is very vast. The Lord is unlimited in his potencies and his powers. We are very small, we're very limited, but we have qualities of the Lord. Each of us does. So the chanting of the Lord's holy names has the ability to uncover our hearts and to allow who we are to come forward as souls, as eternal parts and parcels of the Lord. That was very dangerous to those in power who were already on the fast track to destroying every aspect of our society. When Srila Prabhupada came, due to the influence of these personalities behind the scenes, because what happened in the 60s wasn't organic. The drugs, some of the music, lyrics, behind the scenes, there was very deliberate and intentional dark influences that affected all of us. And now that information is coming out more and more. But what was Srila Prabhupada doing? He established temples and farms. He established restaurants, and all of it was based on God consciousness. And there is a kind of autonomy that happens when we realize God is in my heart. I can receive direction from the Lord. I can hear the Lord when all these other influences are gone. When I'm living a lifestyle that allows me that clarity to be guided. There are people who are listening here from all over the world who have so many challenges right now. Challenges in health, in the environment, because of so much that's coming down now, influencing us on an EMF level, so many frequencies. People feel disturbed. My request to you, my invitation to you, please begin chanting this mantra. You will find on our website, purelyprabhupada.com, there are a number of videos. You will see a series called Purify My Life. And in that series, there are many, many videos. And one of them specifically guides how to chant this Hare Krishna mantra. This chant is a prayer of the soul, of the heart. O energy of the Lord. O Lord, please engage me in your eternal loving service. We're talking about so many things these days. We're using our mouth and our tongue for vibrating so much that has no value. But if we take these eternal, powerful names of God which do not come from this world, which are beyond this world, and have the power to awaken our own connection to God, we will find ourselves empowered in ways that we could never imagine possible. We can come together with like-minded souls. Our homes can become like temples, sacred spaces that nourish us and uplift us. And this is what Srila Prabhupada came to give. And that unites us, because as our hearts awaken to this love, how can we harm another living being, knowing that every living being is part of God? Do you see how much awakens, how much changes when we ourselves understand who we are and why we're here, and how to awaken this love in our hearts? So I pray that each one of you will take the time to visit our website and to, on your own, take up this chanting. As George Harrison put in the introduction of the Krishna book, you can understand the pudding by tasting. The proof is in the tasting. So you become your own experiment, and you try, and you see what is the result. Thank you so much for listening. Hare Krishna.